of things. So many of the ventures which have not done so successfully have not taken into effect this kind of things. But successful ones, like especially what Professor Gandhi has mentioned on the Suguna poultry or the entire poultry sector, that is a classic case of how do we reorganize the poultry sector to add value at every individual level, and also drive value to the consumers. And that has shown the way how you can have a contract farming model which can be scalable. So agri-business ventures which are coming, they are highly risky. We are in the initial stages, so they are in the high pain, high gain kind of a scenario, because that's what the reality is today.
And talking about it, Mr. Kumar, and I want closing comments from all of you on this. Food retailing, successful. Food processing market accounts for currently 32% of the total food market, and also boom in the FDI approvals. So it does seem the stage is set for a very buoyant performance in the future in the sector. Starting with you, your comment on this.
I would qualify my statement regarding food retailing. Food retailing can be successful and has been successful in the country only when we have included all the players as partners. Wherever we have tried to totally brush aside people, we have not been successful, and we will not be successful, because unless you take a model of inclusive growth, the model doesn't succeed. That is one. Secondly, of course, because the retailing in our country is the biggest in the world. We have 15 million, as you call pop and mom stores all around the corners all over the country, which is the biggest in the world, even more than the US. So it is booming. And the rate of booming is it is going to go overboard by about 400% in next about 5 to 7 years. So it is huge. Now, retailing requires the shelves to be filled up. And the shelves can be filled up only if the farmer produces, the industry value adds, and it is taken by the same supply chain, by the cold chain to the shelves of the retailer. This needs to be worked out. The policies are there. The policies are very conducive, because even today, for setting up an industry in food processing, if you set up an industry, first 5 years you don't pay any income tax at all. The import of equipments is totally free.
Are we looking at a positive future for this sector?
I would say hugely positive future for the sector.
And would you agree with that?
Yeah, the biggest driver of this sector is the growth in per capita incomes. The growth in per capita incomes has shot up from something like 1% per year in the early 90s to something like 5-6% per year. And across the world, anywhere if you see where there is growth in per capita income at that pace, it causes a structural change in the demand for food. So there is growth as well as a structural change. So people demand, the cereal demands increases, but at a much slower pace. There is a transition to livestock products, like milk, eggs, meat, and to oils, edible oils, more of edible oils being consumed, sugar being consumed, and fruits and vegetables. Okay. So this transition is going to take place on the consumer side. And the challenge is that whether the agribusiness sector will be able to adjust to this change that is going to take place.
The needs of the consumers, inclusive
and
growth.
Take the signals of this to the farmers, so that the farmer adjusts and produces ultimately what the consumer wants. Okay. So there is a tremendous potential.
Tremendous potential needs to be tapped.
The per capita expenditure on processed foods, as we move from low income to developed countries, grows from something like $17 per capita to $158 per capita. That has been the experience.
We're running out of time. There's so much we can talk about in this sector. Mr. Srivastava, closing comments from you. If there's one thing which needs to be changed to make this sector really work for the economy as well, what would that change be?
Yeah, the agri-business in this country has to take account the agriculture itself. And on-farm challenges, I feel, are the most insurmountable as I look at it, because we are having today technologies which are not increasing the yield when it comes to seed. True. The soil quality is coming down, the water is becoming scarce. So that is the one where I feel agri-business investments should be focused. While we are also talking about off-farm investments in supply chain, retailing, etc., etc. But if we have to increase our capacity to produce, these are also critical challenges. And going forward, we need to address that issue if we have to meet our goals on the customer side or on the retail side and so on.
All Right, but yet experts do believe that agriculture and agribusiness can be the sector which can actually drive the 7% growth story of the country. Thank you so much, all of you. It was a wonderful time and wonderful discussion, and thank you so much for joining us here. And there is no denying that the next 2 years are going to be very tough for the Indian economy. Yet, experts believe that agriculture and agribusiness just might be the drivers for domestic demand, which in turn could fuel the 7% growth story. And with that, it's a wrap of this special show. Thanks for watching.